Okay, so yeah, finally I am back. I know it has been a while since my last stream, but yeah, after the new year, I actually ended up testing positive for COVID and had to rest a little bit just to until I recovered. Started recovering like a couple of days ago, but I continued to rest to make sure that I'm feeling better. And went back to work like I think 2 days ago, something like that. And I'm back streaming now. So today we'll start writing tests. I don't know if we'll be able to finish all of them today. There are quite a few that we need to go through, so we might not get all of them done today, but we'll see. Like I'll try my best, but because as I said in the last stream, I'm still quite new to the Playwright testing library. I am expecting that I might struggle with some things today, and it might take me a little bit of time to actually write the tests that I want to write. So we'll just see. We'll just see what happens, and hopefully we can get as much as possible today. So what exactly are we going to need to do today? So as what we did last time is that we've actually let me just so we've had this is what we actually started writing, and so these are the first two tests that we've had before. We can wrap all of them inside a suite as well, so we would do something like this, and type something here and wrap them inside the suite, but I don't really think it is necessary. We only have just the one file that we're testing for, which is the component file that we're building. I don't think it is that, like, it's really that necessary to have all of these tests trapped in a suite. So if you remember from last time, if we do yarn test, we have basically currently 56 tests, and that's because we have two tests running across several devices. So as you can see, it takes a little bit of time to go through all of them, and for now what I am going to do is actually not going to run all of these tests every time, because as you can see, like, with just two tests it took about 28 seconds to go through all of them, so that doesn't really make a lot of sense. And since we're at the moment we're developing, I'll run it mainly for the desktop some of the desktop browsers, depending on what I want to do, and then every now and then we'll run the entire run the tests in across basically the entire all of the devices that we have, basically, to make sure that all of the tests are still passing and everything's working. Honestly, not a lot of things are going to be passing at the moment, because this is the idea. We're going to write the entire test first, all of the tests first, because again, as I said, we already have a set of defined behaviors that we know that should basically be should exist in our component. That's what we've done in the first stream. So we try to basically convert all of these into some text, into some tests, basically. Let me just change the order of this, because we're going to be starting with these ones, like with these 3 tests, I think. So let's put this one here, make this number 4, number 3, number 2, and number 1, and delete that extra line. So let's close that one, we don't need it. Oh, actually, we do need it. So let me go here quickly, get that one up, and close this one. Here we go. Nope. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so what I'll be doing while developing, just to simplify things, is I'll just run the tests for one of the desktop projects. Let's say we run it for Google Chrome, since as we explained before, like from all of the data that I've looked at, it looks like there are a lot more people using Chrome, especially that there are different browsers that actually rely on Chrome than like Firefox, for instance. So we'll test a lot in Chrome, and then every now and then we'll test for all of the other desktop and mobile devices. So if we run now this test, as you can see, now it's only running 2 tests, which basically the 2 tests that we have here, because we're running it across like for just one device. So yeah, let's start thinking about how we're going to convert these behaviors into tests. So our first behavior basically has, like, our first 3, to be honest, has to do with what happens with how the text is organized inside the tweet editor. So the idea is that when the user actually types some text, on Twitter, it actually goes into a div element, and then when the user presses enter to go to a new line, it creates a new div element, etc. basically. So we need to do something similar. I personally prefer using a paragraph element rather than a div element. What we're trying to do here is not match Twitter exactly. We want to match how Twitter works. So if Twitter is using a div element, and I think that I I'd rather use a paragraph element, that's fine. Like we're not actually trying to match it exactly. We need to match what the user actually sees. So the user doesn't care whether Twitter, like whether the editor is like whether the paragraphs are organized in like a div element or in a p element. They just need to see paragraphs when they basically press enter. So that's what we care about here. So I personally just prefer using a p element over a div element. So yeah, that's what I'll be using. So let's maybe try to do this. Test when user types some text in a paragraph element to content. Page.locator, and as we said, we can use because our editor actually has an ID called like ID of editor, so we should be able to locate it using like just a regular CSS, and then await editor.type from TweetTextarea. And now what I need to do is actually find a way to, I need to think what would be the best way to actually test that this text went into a paragraph. Let me see, maybe we can test the HTML contents. Is that oh, that's a method, okay, interesting. Let's see what happens if we do that. Let's rerun. Oh, something is happening. Oh, sorry. What a stupid mistake. Let's run the test now and let's see what happens here. Target closed. Okay. So maybe const HTML equal await editor dot inner HTML maybe, and then we need to console.log HTML. I think this is also a promise-based method, so we need to wait for it to fulfill before we can actually print. I really wish Playwright has a way of running all these tests in watch mode, so I don't have to rerun it, but it doesn't look like I can do that. So yeah, as you can see, it prints hello from text area, which isn't what we want it to be. What we expect is that it should be something like be hello from TweetTextarea, and then with a closing paragraph tag here. That's what we actually want it to be. Let's actually go for our app here and see exactly what happens, because we have the app open anyway with the component. Okay, so yeah, we have our app here. Let's see what happens. Hello from TweetTextarea. Yeah, that's what we expected. Okay, that's correct. It does exactly what it says it does. So okay, so yeah, let's continue. I just need to have a little bit of a need to think whether this is actually the best way to test for it or not. I can of course look for a paragraph, but the idea is I want to test the behavior of the editor in general. So the reason why I want to test the inner with the inner HTML is that it will enable me, especially for the following tests, to make sure that everything is working as I want it to be, in terms of how it formats the text that is being added, what it does when the user basically types something, when the user erases something. So yeah, that's what I needed to do. So I'll probably for now I'll probably stick with the inner HTML, and later if I think that there may be a better way of doing it, we'll go back to these tests and update them. But yeah, for now let's just stick to it. Okay, so yeah, here's what I'm going to do then. So await, expect HTML to be this, be hello from TweetTextarea. And now if we run the test, this one should fail because yep, that's correct. That's what we needed. Okay, so that's fine. Our next test is basically we need to test for what happens when the user presses enter. So let's actually check what happens now when the user presses enter, because I don't really know. So if I do that, okay, so as you can see, it adds dev element, which, okay, that's good. Okay, so again, so here we go, page, and okay, let's actually see how we press a key down. I think there might be not click. Yeah, press enter maybe. We probably need to wait for this press to happen, and yeah, then we'll get the HTML editor.dana HTML, and then again let's console.log HTML. Need to see how actually formats it when there are multiple paragraphs. So let's just run the test one more time. That one is not going to pass. Oh, sorry, we need to add a wait here. As you can see, I'm a bit rusty. Okay, so yeah, that is interesting. Okay, it sort of does what we expect it to do, which is good. But as I said, I want these to be paragraph elements. So yeah, we'll still basically make it fail for now. Await expect HTML dot to be beyond and another B beyond. So now this will fail as well. Yep, correct, that's what we needed it to do, so that's fine. Again, as I said, like this would match what it does in Twitter's editor, but I really want it to work in a slightly different way, because I think it will make testing, it will make using the component a little bit easier for us. And as I said, part of it is that, and part of the other part is that I just prefer using the paragraph element. I think it makes more sense. I just need to see what is the default behavior for it. So if you just type some text, it basically adds it here. What happens if I do that? So it automatically puts that text inside a div element. So yeah, this is why I think I prefer, because at least the behavior is a bit more predictable now. It doesn't add the text immediately to the editor. What I'll get it to do is to actually, whenever the user types something here, it adds it to a paragraph element, which is not what it does right now. Like, yes, it's good that you get something out of the box, but it's not what I want it to do. I want to have a paragraph. Like even now, that like when the user didn't, like, I just typed something, I didn't press enter or anything, I don't want the text to be added immediately inside the editor. I just want it to be added into a paragraph. So yeah, that's another one. What we now need to do as well is test what happens when the user presses backspace after pressing enter. When user presses backspace in an empty paragraph, it should be deleted. So that's what I expect it to do. And page and const editor equal page dot locator, and then await editor dot press enter and await. This will basically have, this way we'll have two paragraphs. So if I do backspace and then twice, because since we have two paragraphs, I want to delete both of them. Isn't that how it works? Let me just check. Yeah, so that's how it works. Then we'll get the HTML await dot editor dot inner HTML, and then await expect HTML to be empty. And I think this is going to be the only one that actually passes without us having to do anything, since this is already the way the editor behaves. So it should work fine. I think this one will pass as well. So yeah, as you can see, we have 3 tests that passed, and yeah, this is what actually happens. Let me test something else quickly. Undo. I think if we do that, this should pass as well. Just want to make sure that I really understand how it works. Yeah, again, so it passes. So yeah, just making sure that I actually understand how it works. So Okay. Just trying to think what I need to do here. Okay, I'll leave it as it was. No need to. Actually, you know what? For now, let's do this. We need this. So yeah, let's check that it actually, what the heck? And then when we do another press, damn it. This is where it should be. What? So yeah, we're testing basically removing one paragraph at a time. So this one will fail, this one should pass, but since we have one basically case failing, the entire test will actually will fail now. So now we'll have 3 failing tests. Yep. As you can see, this one also failed because we expect it to be this, and it's actually this, the div. So yeah, that works as we expect now. So what we did now is we actually tested these 3. We've added 3 tests. Each one of them is testing one of the expected behaviors that we have. This one is it's actually tested here as well. Technically this one also tests our this case here, that basically if a user types some text that doesn't match anything, it will not be highlighted. But for now we will just add an extra test for it. It's not gonna take anything for us to do that, so we'll just test it to be safe in case in case we want to change something or something like that. So we just need to make sure that it's working. Actually, you know what? Here's how I'm going to test that in a way that doesn't basically I want it to I want to, like, I'll write the test in a slightly different way. I was going to just change the title of the test, but I think that is not going to be very useful. I'll actually write the test in a bit of a different way to like basically test for this specific case, which is when the user types something that actually doesn't need to be formatted. then we shouldn't find any formatting elements in the editor. So let's 1 second, let's sweep. So here's how we're going to test that basically. Now we've typed something, and my intention basically is when the user types something that needs to be formatted, it will be wrapped in a span element that have a class called highlight, maybe something like that. So it will look like that in the inner HTML. So the way I'm going to write the test to make sure that something that doesn't match any patterns isn't actually formatted is I'm going to test if this span exists or not. So yeah, let's do that now. What I'm going to do is const span equal page dot locator span dot highlight, and then I'm not sure when something doesn't exist what happens. So what I'll do is I'll just console log this to see exactly how the playwright test handles this thing. Let's see, this fails, that's fine. So we have 3 failed tests. Okay. Yeah, that's, sorry, I totally forgot. It's easy. All we need to do is await expect span to be hidden. So what we're doing is we're this is how we do it. Basically, we're telling it that now we shouldn't, like this element, that a span with the class of highlight should not exist in our editor, because the text that we typed doesn't actually have any sort of formatting that needs to be applied to it. So yeah, let's run it. This one actually will pass because yeah, the editor now doesn't format anything anyway, so yeah, it will it should pass. But when it passes, when we actually start making the editor apply the formatting, then we know that this test is working properly. If we want it to actually fail now as well, then we can do something like this. Expect editor, actually 1 second, let's const html equal editor await editor dot inner html, and then await expect html to be so now this one, the first one, Oh, now I just noticed that I have I'm actually covering most of the tests what I was writing, so I'm sorry about that. I'll tell you what, let's move this here, index.test, so we can actually expected behavior. Oh, damn it. Yeah, this way, even if I don't scroll properly, you'll still be able to see the text. So yeah, just in case basically you couldn't see any of the previous ones, as you can see, basically for these ones we're testing the inner HTML of the editor. Same thing here, and in this one we're checking to ensure that a span element that actually highlights something doesn't exist inside the editor, and we're also checking for the inner HTML because later we also need to make sure that we're still keeping up with how we expect the text should be formatted, and not formatted as in highlighted, but how it is organized inside the editor. So for now I'll save that. When we run the test now, the last test will also fail, as you can see, because I forgot to do something here. We need to have this in here as well. Again, run the test one more time. Yeah, for the 4 new tests that we've written today are all failing now. As you can see, this one didn't fail because as we said, like, now the editor is not formatting anything, so it's not wrapping anything inside of a span element or anything like that. So this one works like naturally. This is the one that doesn't work. When we are done with the with basically writing everything in here, this all basically should be working properly, and the test should pass. So yeah, okay, let's go back. Now we need to start testing for the other behaviors that basically we expect, and I need to think a little bit about how I want to do that. Let me think a little bit about it. I'll just have a drink quickly, and we'll continue basically writing the tests for these behaviors. Okay. Great. Okay, so I think the best thing to do basically to actually write these tests is to focus on one type of element at a time. So we'll take hashtags, for instance, and test what actually happens in each case. Then we move to user mentions, then we do cache tags, and finally we can do URLs as well. So the problem is the document I have here, the expected behavior documents is not actually organized exactly like that, so it probably need to be jumping up and down in here to actually make sure that everything that we've covered all the possible scenarios. So let's actually start looking here. What does this say? I'll start with hashtags just because we're all familiar with hashtags. So I'll start with that first, and we'll write all the tests for it. So let's see, this one is for cache tags. Okay, this is a user mention. Okay, so this is a hashtag. Okay, so yeah, let's start with this one. So here's what we're going to do. Let's scroll that up a little bit, and I have a feeling it might be a better idea if I actually zoom in a little bit. I'm used to looking at things in a slightly smaller font size, but I think I think that looks slightly better on the stream. I have the stream running on another monitor just to make sure everything is working well enough. So yeah, let's start here. So when the user types the hash character alone, nothing should be formatted. So the first case actually we're testing is that we need to make sure that the formatting only starts when the user types something that matches the pattern. So when we start typing hashtag and we just type the hash symbol, the formatting shouldn't start because it still doesn't, it actually doesn't match that pattern yet. So we'll do this quickly. Const editor, actually I'll tell you what, let's copy this because this test actually will follow a very similar pattern. So we'll do this, and again, this one will fail because we know that first of all, the reason why it will fail is because like our editor still doesn't wrap anything in paragraph elements. The important bit that for this test is the the span locator, which should be hidden. In this case it will be hidden because again we haven't actually started writing any formatting code yet. But once we start writing the formatting code, if that test passes, then we know that everything is working as expected. So again, if we go back here, run this, all of them should fail. Yep, exactly, everything failed. So yeah, that's correct. Okay, so let's see what is the next case. If I add any word characters, okay, so this okay, so yeah, what we do, this basically point here talks about what happens. So for hashtags to be highlighted, they have to follow a specific regular expression pattern. We're going one second. Okay, yeah, I just I panicked a little bit because I thought I'm muted. Okay, yeah. Yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, as I said, like we're going to discuss in detail like what our regular expressions are going to be, because I've been giving this some thought, and I think I sort of know what I'm going to do with it. But that's for later. Basically, at the moment, we need to make sure that when the user types something that matches the pattern, it should be highlighted. If it doesn't match the pattern, it should not be highlighted. So, for instance, I know that numbers alone do not match the pattern. So if a user types hashtag and then a sequence of number, then it shouldn't be highlighted, because the hashtags actually should include at least one character that is an alphabetical character, whether it's lowercase or uppercase. So let's add that into our tests. So test if the user adds okay, just do this. Let me try to write that in a slightly better way. If the user types something after say the what the Okay, again we will copy most of this. So if we type this, so again there's not going to be a span highlight, so this part of the test will pass. This, not this this part of the test will pass, but this will fail, so the entire test is going to fail. So let's check that quickly. We should only have 2 tests passing. Yeah, 2 passed and 6 failed. One of them is now let's add something. Sorry, if the user types something after the hashtag and the result matches the hashtag, page. Let's scroll a little bit so this is visible, and then here's what we're going to do: YAJ 12J. Then let's type this. So in this case, we actually expect this to be visible, and we expect this to be wrapped in this. Actually, you know what? Let's do it like that. And we expect this. So as you can see now, we're starting to actually add that span element with the class, the highlight class that we're going to that is going to be used for the formatting. So now both of these will actually fail. Okay, I think no. Why did that one sort of? Okay, I think because we're using the page locator and we're expecting it to exist, it's waiting for it, just trying to see if it maybe shows up later or something, but it doesn't, so it eventually ends up failing basically. So yeah, that's great. That's what we expected to happen. So yeah, perfect. Okay, let's see what comes next. Okay, this tests basically Okay, I'm trying to think, because honestly I think this case, the non-word character case, should be just added here. I'm trying to think what might be the best way of doing that. Okay, you know what? I think I'll probably take back what I said at the beginning, and I said that I'm not going to be using any suites. So I think I'll actually be using test suites and organizing things, organizing my tests in these suites, just as I think it will make things a little bit easier. So let's see. What I am not sure of, this is something that I don't know. I don't know if I need to have this test before inside each suite, or can I just have it globally and then it will still work? Let's actually test suite 1 just for testing purposes, and we need this, and let's see what happens if we do this. Test.suite, so no, why is it do you need to install any definition or import? Okay, I need to suite. Doesn't look like it actually exists. One second, let me check, because I think I am missing something. Yeah, it seems to exist. How can I actually use it? Let's see, for the document, test configuration, writing assertions. Ah, sorry. Yeah, it's test.describe. Yeah, that's how you actually organize them into suites. So I just, yeah. Anyway, benign. Let's see. I'm hoping that having the before each globally will be enough, and that I wouldn't need to include it in every suite. So let's just see. Okay, yeah, that seems to be working. So yeah, great. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. These ones, remove this one for now, and then we'll start doing that. I think these two should be in one suite together. Describe, general, actually let's just do this, general tests, and then we'll make it asynchronous and move these two tests in here, and then test.describe paragraphs, and we need to make this asynchronous as well, and I'm going to be copying these two and these two, this one, sorry, it's just one test. Let's make sure that everything's still working. Yep, great. So we have our two tests at the top, passing, which is what we expect. Then everything else is failing, which again is what we expected. So yeah, good. Let's keep going, and then we're going to have one general suite here which tests for the formatting and synchronous as well, and let's do that. Let's do describe we'll just add this one in here. This is sort of a generic test, it doesn't need to go into any suite, but then we'll organize things a little bit more here with, so we'll have a suite for the hashtags and synchronous, and then we'll start moving all of the hashtag tests in there. Since all of the remaining ones are hashtag tests, we'll have them here. Then again, describe no match for hashtag back pattern asynchronous, and so we have these two tests where nothing matches, and in here if the user types word characters, and then we'll copy this one if the user types none word characters immediately after the hashtag, then nothing should be formatted really. And so if we have this, and let's say that the user basically types a hashtag and then just adds something like a non-word character like this, and then writes something here, then yeah, nothing should be formatted, because non-word characters break the pattern. So since in this case the non-word character comes immediately after the character, so nothing here matches the pattern, so all of this fails. So yeah, if we run these tests now, all of them should be failing as we expect. Great, yeah. I just noticed one warning about, that's weird. There was some warning saying that the package.json doesn't include a license field, but it actually does, so I'm not sure what exactly is happening here. So yeah, it's alright. I think it's just a glitch or something. Okay, let's see, do we want to let's test.describe hashtag text matches hashtag pattern synchronous, and let's just copy this inside. Yeah, that's fine. So we've sort of organized everything now. So we've now covered up to here. We need to basically cover this one, which what happens if the user basically types something like this, for instance, or if we replace this hyphen by a space, then any sort of as we said before, non-word characters break the hashtag pattern. So in this case, because there are some word characters that actually come before and they match the pattern, so these should be highlighted, but these shouldn't. So this part shouldn't be highlighted. So let's actually go here. So test when the user adds a non-word character after a sequence of word characters that match the hashtag pattern, then the formatting should stop before the non-word character. To be honest, I'm not really happy with how lengthy the names of these tests are. Might have to think some way to actually yeah, just make them shorter, but I'm not going to waste time on this now. I just need to actually write these tests. So here's what we're going to do. Let's use the example that we've used in the in here. Basically, we'll just add, maybe let's make it 2022 since we're in the new year now. Yeah, just for fun. So that's what we expect it to be. So as you can see, we'll have 100 days of code highlighted or wrapped within the span element, but the hyphen 2022 is not going to be wrapped inside it. So if we save this right now and again run the test, great, everything fails as we expect it to be. That's good. And okay, let's see what comes next. Okay. Okay, so we're here basically highlighting the behavior of the editor when the user actually erases something rather than when the user types something. So let's try to write this one as a test. When the user erases characters from string that matches the hashtag pattern, making it no longer matching, the highlighting should be removed. So we'll do this, and let's just scroll up a little bit, and okay, let's think. So here's what we're going to do: page.locator, again div editor, and then await editor.type, hello 100 dates. Let's just type days because we need to erase. So then await editor.press backspace, for let I equals 0, I in 4, and then I++, and we just run this. Apparently it's not. Oh, okay, sorry. So now it should remove 4 characters. So it should remove the word days. But let's actually make sure what happens. const html editor dot inner html, and we need to add await, and then let's see what actually happens in this case. It should basically have hello then hash 100, but I need to make sure that it actually the testing library does exactly what I'm asking it to do. Okay, so let's just go up. Yeah, it basically says hello 100, so that's what we expected. So yeah, then what we're going to do is const span equal page dot locator span dot highlight, and then await expect what I did something. I expect span dot to be hidden, and then await expect HTML to be hello 100. Okay. So this seems to be working fine. Let's make sure. I think like this test now should fail. Yep, all of them failed except the first two, which is what we expect. Great. Great. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so now we want to test for the actually I think this one should be moved to the not matching bit. I think makes more sense, yeah, because now we're removing the match. So yeah, let's so now we need to test for the other case, which is what happens if we have text that doesn't match, but then the user removes something making the text actually match. What happens in this case? So the example that we have here is if the user writes hashtag like hash character 100 and then adds adds a non-word character followed by some word characters, as you can see here, because as we said, like the hashtag pattern mandates that there is at least one alphabetical character in the string for it to actually match. This doesn't match because we said like non-word characters break the pattern. So in here, this doesn't match as a hashtag, so it's not going to be highlighted. And because we have this, even that we've added some alphabetical characters, it still doesn't make this string matches the pattern, so it's not going to be highlighted at all. But if the user basically comes here and then just presses backspace to remove that that hyphen, then it should actually be now basically the string should match the pattern and it should be highlighted. So that's what we're going to write in our test. So test if the user erases characters let me change this quickly. Doesn't match the hashtag pattern. Making it match, then the text should be so let's do this. We're going to have to yeah, that's right, editor, and then await editor dot type. Let's say that we type this, and then again I'll do for let I equals 0, I also mean 4, I less than 4, and then I plus plus editor dot press left, which is the no, it's actually arrow left, not arrow, not left, not just left. So let's do this, arrow left, await actually, and then we will do this, wait, dot press backspace. Now I think I'll test again to make sure that basically I'm getting what I expect. So we'll do await editor.inner HTML, and then let's actually print that to see if the testing library does what I want it to do. I just need to make sure that it actually goes to the hyphen character and then removes it before I actually type the conditions. Slow test file, that's fine. Like these are slow because the test, like the file is waiting for trying to, because we're telling it that it should expect some elements to be visible, and they are not actually visible, so it waits for them until they actually to see if they show up or something, but they don't. So this is why it takes a little bit of time. Once we start actually, okay, yeah, once we sort of start applying the writing the logic for our editor, things should be running faster. For now, if we want to run them faster, we can actually do this. We can for now just disable these. Let's just type this. Sorry, to be visible. Okay. Okay, that should be fine, I think. And okay, here's what we're going to do. Const span equal page dot locator span dot highlight. Sorry. Wait, expect span to be visible, and I expect HTML to be page hello 100 days. No, actually it should be now span class equal highlight, and then closes the span and it closes the paragraph. And again, to speed things up a bit, we will do this. Now I don't think we should get a warning about the slow test file, because it's not going to wait for anything. Yeah. That's what we expected. So we'll just re-enable them. I don't care about that warning for now, because it's fine. So yeah. Okay. So we have covered this one, and this basically covers most of what we have here, at least the basic behavior of the editor when it comes to hashtags and how it handles formatting and removing hashtag formatting. There are other things that we need to do here, like this, for instance. We'll continue to do them. I just need a bit of a break because it has been an hour and a half. I'll just take like 5 to 10 minute break, and then I will come back, and then we'll continue writing these tests. Okay, yeah, see you in a bit. Yeah. Just get this. Yep. Okay. Yeah, back. Okay. Yeah, let's just get back straight into it and okay. What the hell? Where am I? Okay, so the next test that we need to write is what happens basically, because the way Twitter's editor works is that it doesn't only handle hashtags or like user mentions, whatever, when they come on their own, but actually deals with what happens when like two of them come after each other. So a very basic thing is if we have multiple hashtags coming out one after the other without any non-word characters breaking them, so we need to, like, the way that, for instance, Twitter handles this is that it only highlights it doesn't actually highlight any of them. So if we have multiple hashtags, none of them are highlighted because none of them are treated as hashtags. They are just treated as regular string. So this should go into the text, the text that doesn't match about pattern suite. So if we have multiple hashtags one after the other with no non-word characters separating them, then none of them should be highlighted. So I'll write this. So const editor equal page dot locator div editor and await editor dot type. So let's type something like this: 100 days of code. So const span equal page dot locator span dot highlight, and then const HTML await editor dot inner HTML, and then basically await expect span to be hidden, and then await expect HTML to be no, sorry, it's undo, and it should be that. Okay, let's run this one, and I'll do something now. Just I'll try running. I'll basically run this test on its own. So what the G flag does is basically it's a short for the grep. So it looks for text patterns in the test names, and it only runs the tests that match those. So since we know, like, I just want to run this one, I don't want to wait for all of the tests to run. So I'm looking for something that includes multiple hashtags with some text before it and some text after it. So this should something is not working. Invalid regular expression. So it's using 1 second. Okay. Yeah, okay, I get it. That's fine. We just need to add this because it's actually regular expressions. So yeah, here we go. So it just ran this one, as we can see. If we have multiple hashtags one after the other, so yeah, this just makes things faster for us. So we're only running the test that we care about at the moment, rather than running all of them. So yeah, okay, so let's see what else. Yeah, so here we have okay, so this basically describes the behavior, what happens when the hashtag is followed by a user mention, again with no word characters in between. So yeah, the way that Twitter handles this is that if we add this character, nothing's going to be highlighted. The at character, it's not going to be highlighted because it will be handled as it would normally handle any other non-word character. So imagine this at character as a hyphen. This will be highlighted, and this non-word character is not going to be highlighted. So in this case, the hashtag build in public will be highlighted, but the at character is not going to be highlighted. If we start adding any characters afterwards, again, it's not going to be highlighted because, as we said, like, this is handled as a non-word character, and then this is handled as just regular text. So what I'll do is I'll actually add a different test suite now, which is basically describes what happens when the hashtags actually come next to other entities. So we'll do test dot not declare describe hashtags relation to other entities, and then we'll do asynchronous and then run it. So test if a user mention comes after a hashtag with no non-word characters. Actually, let's just if the user types the at character after a highlighted hashtag, then the highlighting will be maintained. And then we'll do an asynchronous test, get the page, and const editor. Let's just scroll up a little bit. Page dot locator. Editor. Type. And then hello 100 days of code that game 719. Const span page dot locator span dot highlight, and then we need to get the HTML of the editor. So we'll do this, and then we'll tell it to expect. Actually, wait, expect span to be visible, and await expect HTML to be let's copy this, and then we'll wrap this in class equal highlight, and okay, and then we need to run this one. So since this is the only one that actually Yep, let's just run this. And as you can see, it fails because it's looking for the span element and it doesn't exist. So it ends up failing. Okay. Let's see what else should be added. Here, this is all okay. Actually, we did something wrong here. We did this because we're just testing for the hashtag character. Sorry, user mention character, which is the add character, and then we'll add this type. A valid user mention, then delete all of that. Then this is the one that will actually include, yeah, it still shouldn't be formatted anyway. It's just we're splitting the tests into two tests. So we actually test because in some cases the add character on its own is not gonna change the formatting, but if we add something it might change the formatting. So yeah, we're sort of getting into the habit of splitting our tests into separate tests when needed. So yeah, let's go back here and yeah, we look at this one now. So okay, we found out that when we add a user mention or something else after the after a hashtag, then the way it works is that the hashtag will be highlighted, but what happens if we add them before? So if we add the @ character or the $ character or even the hashtag character just before a highlighted hashtag, then what happens is that the highlighting will be maintained if it's just these characters. If it's just the @ or the hash or the $ character with no word characters added afterwards, then the formatting will be maintained and these characters will be treated as non-word characters that do not need to do anything to the formatting. So let's convert that into a test. If the user types the @ character before the before highlighted immediately before a highlighted hashtag, with no none one with no characters separating them, and the highlighting will be maintained. What the? Let's scroll. Const editor, not editable, editor equal page dot locator dev editor await editor dot type hello let's just type 100 days, and then we need to go back 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, so we need to for let I equal 0, I less than 8, and I plus plus. What we'll do is await editor dot press arrow left, then we'll do await editor dot type, and then let's add the then let's see actually what it looks like. I want to make sure that the testing library is actually doing what I expect it to. What the hell? Console.log HTML. Okay, let's type this at character immediately before. Should have one test here. Perfect. Okay, so it's doing exactly what I want it to do. Great. Okay, so here's what we're going to do now. We'll add span not await page dot locator span dot highlight, and then await expect span to be visible, because we expect the formatting to be maintained, and we expect HTML to be this with an at character here, and paragraph tags, class equal highlight, and then closing the span tag. Yeah, okay, now this one should fail. Perfect. So we said that we expect the same to happen with both the hash character and the $sign character. So we'll add tests for those as well, and change, actually, you know what, Let's come here, v20j, and I'll just replace any character with a $sign. Perfect. Okay, so we've replaced it here, and now basically all these 3 tests should fail. So if we actually come here and do that, we should run 3 tests as we expected. All of them should fail. Perfect. As you can see, the span element is not actually visible for any of them. Okay, I'll just reorganize things a little bit because I'm not too happy with the organization I have at the moment. So here's what I'm going to do. We'll do test.describe hashtags in relation to other hashtags, and then again synchronous, just remove that, we don't need it. And okay, we will move this one in there, 20j, and we'll basically take these, not that one, take this, then we will do test.describe hashtags in relation to user mentions, and then we do this, move that, and then we'll take this one, take this one. So okay, test to describe computer seems to be slowing down a little bit. I'm not sure if that has to do with the streaming or what, but yeah, hashtags in relation to cache tags. So we'll get that one in here. Okay, and I think we are missing a test here which tests what happens if the user adds Wait a second. As I have two contradicting. Oh no, that's fine. Okay, I seem to have forgot to include something, which is what happens if we add a hash character after a highlighted hashtag, similar to this. Oh no, wait. Oh no, I actually have it. No, this is a user mention. Okay, let me see actually what Twitter does in this case. Okay. Yeah, I tested it quickly. And in this case, what happens is that if we add... Sorry, excuse me. I am getting a phone call. Give me a second, sorry. Yep, sorry about that. I'm back. Yeah, just had an important phone call. So yeah. Okay, and I'll just add this here. The highlighting will be removed, and we delete up to here. Let me just put that phone to silent because it keeps ringing. Let me see. Yeah, I need to come here and delete up to here. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm getting lots of phone calls and messages at the same time. It's just, yeah, it's a bit crazy. Yeah, let's just focus. So we need to copy this one because, yeah, as I said, if we add a hashtag, a hash character after a highlighted hashtag, then in this case the highlighting of the hashtag will be removed because it will treat it as if you're actually typing two hashtags. This is how Twitter editor works. So we need to actually do this here and then replace that, and let's add that. To be hidden, and then it will actually be like that. So if we copy this and go here, yarn twist, I think this should run our entire, oh sorry, why did it not copy it? Yeah, here we go. This should run. Yes, we have 3 tests in there. And they all fail basically. Again, which is what we expect. Let me just test something quickly with Twitter. I just want to make sure that, yeah, okay, yeah, great. So yeah, everything works as we actually have it right here. I'm really not sure why my VS Code seems to be slowing down that much. It wasn't doing that on the stream before, so I'm not sure what is happening here. But yeah, I'll try to figure that out later. Okay, so what other tests that we might need to include in here? Let's see. Okay, so okay, so yeah, we now need to cover what happens when we start typing characters, like word characters, after the after an @ or a $, or a hash character is added before some text. So in general, the main thing that will happen is that the original hashtag, the formatting of the original hashtag, will be removed. Depending on whether the other characters before it actually match or not. Other basically parts of the string might be formatted, but the original hashtag itself is not going to be formatted. So let's give it some thought. What would be the best way to actually write this in a test format, because the thing is, I don't want to be testing okay. Okay, I think the best way to do that would be to locate the span before we actually start typing something, and then once the formatting is removed, we should expect the span to be hidden. So we'll do it this way. So where's the before one? Yeah, here we go. Let's add this. So here's what we're going to do. After we've already typed, because now this bit should be formatted, so what we'll do is this equal page dot locator span dot highlight, and we'll delete this one. And in this case, we're not actually going to test for the HTML. We'll just go back, type at @am_said, and then we expect this to actually be hidden because it should not exist anymore once we've actually added these word characters. So we'll do the same with this immediately before, and we'll add this here and then change this to $, character, and then do this. What the? So this should be hidden. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to make sure that these two tests that we've just written are actually working as we expect them to do, since again we haven't started writing the logic for the formatting yet. So for now we'll just say that they are working, and once we actually start building the logic, we'll be able to test it. So let's add one for the hashtags as well. What the? Okay, here we go. Span.highlight, arrow left, and let's type something here. Because the formatting, by the way, the formatting will be removed even if then the word characters do not make up something else that should be formatted. So if I bring up Twitter here, what? Okay, here we go. So if I type this 100 days and then I add a hashtag here, even though this doesn't make up a new hashtag, this will be the formatting will be removed as well, because we already know anyway that like two hashtags that are not separated by anything shouldn't be formatted. But like even if we have something else like this, for instance, this is a hashtag. It's not formatted because it doesn't match the hashtag pattern, but the hashtag is still not formatted. The hashtag has to come at the beginning for it to be formatted, otherwise it's not going to be. And it's not always going to be formatted at the beginning, as we said. Like if we have two hashtags, like this is at the beginning but it's still not formatted, because it's followed by another hashtag. So yeah, let's go back here. So yeah, these tests work as well. Oh, they should work. Again, we're not gonna be 100% sure that they're working unless we actually test them later. Okay, let me see, is there anything we add word characters immediately before? Okay. I think we still need to cover the case where the hashtag is followed by a $sign. Okay, so we have these for the user mention. Okay, let's get this. Not sure why did I close it. Show you what happens with it. Oh damn it, I have to log in again. 1 second. No, wait, we don't have to log in. Yeah, we have this, it's fine. Okay, so 100 days of code. Same thing, if we add $, nothing happens. We type this, nothing happens. So it basically behaves the same way as the user mention would behave. So we'll just copy these 9k y30j, and then we'll go here to the test suite for this. Yeah, then let's do this cache tag, and let's do it like that. Amazon. And then this should be that. This should be that, and so let's just run the cache tag test, full tests as we expect. They all should fail. Yep. Oh wait, one of them passed. Bit unexpected. Let's look at this one. Ah, okay. Yeah, yeah, this one makes sense because again, we haven't started applying the formatting, so it can't find the span element that we expect when something is formatted. So it just passes the test and thinks that this is what we expected. So yeah, let's have some. Yeah, we need to think about, like, yeah, we need to implement this. So we'll go here and implement this somewhere here in the suite for the text that doesn't match. Makes more sense to include it there. Yep. If the user adds word characters immediately before a highlighted hashtag with non-word characters separating them, then the highlighting should be so we'll do this, and let's copy these two, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we need to go back. So let I equal 0, I less than 8, and I plus plus. Then await editor dot press arrow left, and then await editor dot type hello from. Let's actually get the span as well. Const span equal page dot locator span dot highlight, and then await expect span to be hidden. So we're using the same format for the test that we've used and some of the other ones. This one again, like, I'm not 100% sure if it will work or not. We'll keep it right now and we'll basically test it later to make sure that whether it works or not. If it doesn't work, then we'll have to update the format and think of another way to actually do it. Let's see if we have anything else that we might need to include. Basically, we're not gonna write anything for how hashtags relate to URLs because they cannot relate in any way. If you write something that looks like a hashtag next to a URL, it will be treated as a URL. So yeah, we're not gonna worry about that. When we write the tests for the URL, will basically include things that test for like hashtags and user mentions and things like that. As you can see here, we have it covered, but we'll cover it in the URL because all of these should be treated as URL, not hashtags. So we'll just leave it for when we write the tests for these. Okay. Okay, I think we have the behavior of the hashtags fully covered. Okay. That's fine. We've handled that one. We've handled that one as well. We've handled that one. Handled all of these cases as well. So yeah, looks like we have all of the hashtags covered. Seeing that how this thing's getting really long, I'm now actually considering splitting these, like splitting the test file into multiple tests. So yeah, let's actually do that now before we see if we're going to proceed, because I'm now sort of not sure if I should proceed with the other ones or not, because yeah, it's taken us almost 3 hours to actually finish writing the hashtag tests. So I don't know. We'll split the tests into separate files, and then we can think about it. Let's just let's close this for now, and I'll just zoom out a little bit, and then go here. Source test. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I will copy that file, source test index.test, into source test. Basically I'll duplicate it. Index dot make it general, not general, let's make it paragraphs, because we'll make the original one the general. Then source tests index hashtags, because I think that's what we have after the paragraphs. Okay, let's just have one for the formatting, since general formatting, and then we'll have one for index hashtag formatting. What? See. Okay, not sure what is happening. Let me just test it quickly, because it doesn't make sense. Okay, so that works. Then let's make general formatting and hashtag formatting, and then we'll move source tests index dot test source tests index general dot test dot ts. So that one is deleted now, and then now basically in the tests we have we'll just break things into separate files. So this is the general one. Then let's remove this and remove this as well, and take this out here, and then just delete everything else. Is that correct? Let's make sure that we don't have yeah, we don't. Okay, so yeah, we can just remove all of this, we don't need it. And then we'll go to the paragraphs one, remove this, and this is the paragraphs. Let's remove everything else, we don't need it. And then finally our biggest chunk of tests, let's remove that one, and let's basically remove this and go to the end of the file, delete that one, and yeah, we now basically have the hashtags all in one place. Now if we run all of our tests, basically they now should basically be let's yarn. Okay, clear, yeah, here we go, yarn test project equals this dot home. We should now have 4 files. Yeah. Some of the tests are going to be slower, of course, as we said before, because yeah, because some of them are stuck trying to look for some of the elements that we told them to expect to find them. As you can see, some of these tests are actually passing, but this is sort of a false positive thing. They're just passing now because, again, we don't have any logic for formatting, and what we're basically saying here is that, like, the text is not going to be formatted. So because it is not formatted already, it thinks that the tests actually pass. These are the only 2 tests that we expect them to actually pass. So these are the only correct ones. The other ones, all of them should fail. So these just pass because, as I said, logic is not implemented yet. Once we start implementing the logic, I'm expecting that some of them will actually end up failing until we implement the appropriate logic for them. But yeah, we'll see about that later. Okay. Okay, so what we need to do next is actually maybe let's look at the expected behavior document. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll just duplicate the expected behavior document, just so I can remove what we implemented. Completed tests. And then I'll just do this, get ignore, and let's just expected behavior completed tests.empty. There's no need to actually have these. Let's I think I may have typed that wrong. Yeah, just needs this. Now when we do that, yeah, it shouldn't have it. So here's what I'm going to do. Instead of actually editing that one, I just need to basically remove everything that we have implemented tests for, so we know exactly what we have left. So all of the 4 ones are done. This one is also done. Same as this. This one is done. This one is done. This one is done. This one is done. Yep, all of this. Yeah, so we've removed everything that we've actually implemented as a test, and we just need to start implementing the other tests. So let's see what might be the slightly simpler thing to implement here. Okay, I think we maybe can implement the user mentions. Maybe let's just do that. Index hashtag formatting source tests index. And then we can go here and open this one. I will go back to zooming in a little bit, so let's do this. Let's close everything here and expected behavior completed tests. And yeah, let's open this one, close this, and come here and close this one here. Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to start implementing these general ones. So in this case we have this, this. So again, if the user just types the add character on its own, nothing is going to be formatted. Then if we type undo, sorry. Actually, in this case, we're not gonna have an equivalent here, because if we go here, the way that user mentions work is that any character is any word characters are accepted. So it's not like the hashtags. So we remove this one. the user types. Yeah, this one should be equivalent, I think. So let's actually go one by one. So we've covered this, so this is not going to be highlighted. We haven't covered this yet. We're covering this now. So if we do this, am Saeed, so as you can see, hello, this am, I can't type today. Yeah, so this shouldn't be highlighted. This should be like that. So we've covered this. Yeah, let's remove this one actually, because we've covered it. We've covered this, and let's see what comes. Okay, let's ignore this. Mention pattern, and no match for mention pattern. If I add any word characters, okay, so the user types something. So if we have this at am Saeed, so yeah, we'll cover this. Oh wait, something isn't right. CT this, yeah. Am Saeed, so we have covered this one, and so yeah, if we do this, so what will end up happening is am Saeed followed by this, so we've covered this. And then we need to go back here to this. Okay. Then am Saeed, let's not actually include the numbers, no point. 1 2 3 4 5 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. So we should make that 6, and we should have CT as at. So we have covered this. And if we go here, yeah, if the user erases the characters, so let's have this as AM Saeed 1989 and then one. Actually, let's just do this 1 2 3 4 5 6 again, just making sure it's actually 6. And then it should be highlighted basically as this. So we've covered this as well. If the user, we need to make sure that we still actually match the mention pattern, and then the text should be highlighted. Need to make sure that actually no match for mention. I'll just zoom out so I can see everything. Yeah, if the user okay, we need to tell it this shouldn't be highlighted. Okay, good. Erases character from mention pattern, making it no longer matching. The highlighting should be removed, and then we haven't actually implemented this yet, but let's just change it to mention. We'll implement this once we get to it. We fixed this. When the user adds a non-word character, yep, that's correct. Okay, so let's, since we only have this one left here in this test suite, let's actually implement it. Word characters. I can't seem to find it. Yeah, here we go. So what should happen if we have a user mention that is, let me zoom in a little bit so you can now see exactly. So if we have a user mention that is highlighted and we add word characters immediately before, then the highlighting will be removed. So yeah, again, behaves the same as the hashtag. So we will type it, and then we should go back 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. Okay, 11. So we have implemented that, I would say. Yep, that is the one. And so this part is covered, and we need to, mentions. Okay. So in relations to other mentions, so if the user types the @ character immediately before, so what happens in this case? Basically this is covering the case if we have, like when we did with the hashtag, if we added another hash simple character before the hashtag, what happens? So we need to do the equivalent for the user mentions. Let me see. Nope. Okay, so I'm assuming okay, so here's this one. We have user mentioned as highlighted, then we add hash character, then the highlighting will be removed. Same thing happens with the dollar and the @ characters. So yeah, if you go here, hello @am Said, okay, and then we come here and add this, then it ends up being removed. Unlike with hashtags, if you remember, this doesn't remove it. Hashtags are a bit special in this case. So yeah, let's immediately before highlighted mention with no characters separating them, then the highlighting will be removed. So if we have this am Said 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, we need to go back 7 characters, and then we will have this and C to T. So what will happen is we need to make sure we type this at am site. Okay, so let's find the equivalent hashtags, and I think cache tags as well do the same. Yep. Yeah, okay. So in relation to hashtags, we need to find the one where we add immediately before a highlighted mention with no characters, no types this. Then the highlighting will be removed as well. So again, if we do this, hello at AM site, go back 7 character, up to 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we add this. Then again, let's test that and come here. Yep, correct. Okay. Not after, we need to implement the same thing for, yes, immediately before a highlighted mention. Then, yeah, will be removed. AM site, make this 7. Yeah, that should be fine. CT put AM site and close the p tag one more time, just this to make sure to validate. So okay. Okay, the user type followed by okay, yeah, we missed something in the hashtag formatting. I'll just zoom out because followed by other. Yeah, this shouldn't be maintained, it should be removed. And yep, will be removed. Okay. Yeah, that's the problem with having such long names for these tests. Just makes it more likely that there will be some mistakes, especially when I end up zooming in too much for the streaming. Okay, yeah, so we fixed that one. Let's maybe do the same. User types followed by other word characters. So the highlighting will be removed, exactly what we expected. Let's just make sure that though side and then go to 7 and yeah, let's actually make sure that I'll zoom in just one bit. So once I add them, when I start adding new characters, making them a valid cache tag, however adding okay, so the cache tag will be highlighted, which is what we expect. But yeah, again, we're not gonna bother because in this case, if the cache tag is not a valid cache tag, then it might not be highlighted, but the formatting of the user mention will still be removed. So let's do this as well. If the user types the add character, I think this is for hashtags, I'm assuming, yeah. So we need to make this followed by other word characters immediately before a highlighted mention with no characters separating them, then the highlighting will be removed. So if we have this at side and then we come here, make the 7 and then type 100 days, then the formatting again should be removed as we said. So let's find this next one. If we have not this one, yeah, if we have multiple mentions, technically one after the other with known and word characters, then none of them should be highlighted. Okay. Undo CT. Okay, let's see if the user types not this. I'm looking for mentions in relation to other mention. Okay. So if the user types what the hell is this? Okay, so this needs to be this, and the highlighting will be removed. So we'll do this at side, go back to 7, and then make this Abdurrahman. So I think we've now covered this. One after the other was known on Word. Okay, and we have covered this as well. Okay. Okay, that's good. We've covered this one, we've implemented it. We have implemented this one as well. The user types. The add character after a highlighted mention, then the formatting will be removed because so if we have this, then it will be this. Okay, let's see if the user types the add character. No. Yeah, user types the hash character after a highlighted mention, and the highlighting will be maintained. So if we have this, so let's confirm that. If we add the hashtag, yep, that's correct. The user types a valid hashtag after a highlighted mention, and the highlighting will be maintained. So if we have this name say 900 days of code, then CTAM say Let's test that. Yep. Correct. So, and then immediately, I think we've implemented this one. Yeah, we've implemented it. And if the user types this, followed by, yeah, we've implemented this as well. So mentions in relations to cache tags. Okay. After a highlighted mention, then the highlighting will be maintained. Okay, that's correct. Let's just make sure. Yep. Okay. If the user types a valid cache tag after a highlighted mention, so CFE site, then we'll do this. Yep, that's correct. And if the user types the hashtag, I think we've implemented this, yeah. And I think we've implemented this as well. Okay. So let's go back up and just make sure that we've implemented everything for the user mentions. If we have a user mention that is highlighted, then we add immediately afterwards. Yeah, we've implemented this one. We have highlighted URL, all of that has to do with the URLs. If I type the $ character in cache tags, all of that has to do with cache tags. Okay, so looks like we've implemented everything to do with the user mentions as well for the tests, I mean. Let me just zoom out a little bit and just go over everything again to make sure that everything is implemented as expected. So no match from mention pattern. Nothing should be formatted. Correct. These are types non-word characters. It shouldn't be highlighted. Yes. So correct. When the user erases characters from a string that matches the mention pattern, making it no longer matching, the highlighting should be removed. Okay. And the implementation, let me just count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's correct. And then yeah, that's fine. The user adds word characters immediately before a highlighted mention with no non-word characters in the okay, that's correct. So hello inside, and if we added from just before, let me just make sure that these are 11 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that will add from in here. And that means that the text should disappear. Then what happens when the text matches the mention pattern? So if the user types something after Yeah, and the result matches the mention pattern. It should be highlighted. That's correct. So if we have hello at AM Saeed, then we'll have AM Saeed 1989 between the wrapped within the span. When the user adds non-word characters after a sequence of word characters that match the mentioned pattern, the formatting should stop before. Okay, so if we have this AM Saeed 1989 with a hyphen followed by 2022, then it will be formatted up to the 1989, the hyphen, and 2022 will not be formatted. Okay, that's correct. Let's scroll up a little bit. If the user erases character from a string that doesn't match the mentioned pattern, making it match, then the text should be highlighted. So yeah, if we have something like this at AM Saeed, again, let me just count this to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when we press the backspace, it will actually remove the hyphen, making this a valid mention pattern. So it should end up being highlighted basically. Okay, that's correct. And then now we're basically working on the relations between mentions and other things, and other entities. So mention in relation to other mentions. So if we type the add character immediately before a highlighted mention, then the highlighting will be removed. That's correct, that's what we expect. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, but if we add characters again, the highlighting will be removed. So we have hello at AM Saeed, we get the span element, and once we add another user mentioned before, this span element should be hidden. Okay, that's correct. User types after, then the highlighting will be removed as well. So if we have at AM Saeed and then we add an add character, it shouldn't be highlighted. If we have multiple mentions, one after the other, with no non-word characters separating them, then none of them should be highlighted. So if we have AM Saeed at AM Saeed at Abdurrahman, again none of them will be highlighted. Then mentions in relation to hashtags. So if we have the user types the hash character after a mention, then the mentions highlighting will be maintained. So yeah, the mention will be highlighted, but the hash character itself won't. If we add a hashtag afterwards, then again the hashtag will still not be formatted, but the mention will continue to be formatted. If we add the hash character before the highlighted mention, then the highlighting of the mention should be removed. So we should have it like this. So hello hash at AM Saeed, and then if we add some characters, then again still the highlighting of the user mention itself should be removed. And then mentions in relation to cache tags. If the dollar character comes after a highlighted mention, then still the highlighting will be maintained, but the dollar itself will not. Again, if it's a valid cache tag, the highlighting of the user mention will be maintained, but the cache tag will not be formatted. After a highlighted mention, then the highlighting, okay, yeah. And then, but if the dollar sign comes before the highlighted mention, then the highlighting of the mention will be removed. Even if we add word characters after the dollar character, the highlighting of the mention will still be removed. And that's basically all the tests that we have for the user mentions. So if we do this and run all of them, we have 45 tests. Most of them should fail. 2 of them would correctly pass. Some of them would give us false positives. Basically, they will pass, but they shouldn't actually be passing. As you can see, we have loads of tests. But yeah, as we can see, 10 of them passed. Again, as I said, only 2 of them are correctly passing. The other 8 shouldn't be passing, really. They're just passing now. Just because the formatting logic is not implemented yet. So yeah, I think that should be enough for today. We're coming up at almost 4 hours, and I'm a bit tired. It's my first stream after, as I said, after I tested positive for COVID, so I am a bit tired at the moment. Haven't been streaming for a while now. So yeah, I think this should be a good stopping point, and yeah, hopefully I'll be back streaming tomorrow. We will continue implementing the tests. We have the cache tags next, and then the URLs. I'm hoping that we can actually finish implementing the tests for both of them tomorrow. So for the following stream, we would actually start coding. We'll start, of course, with implementing the regular expression patterns, and yeah, we'll take it from there. So yeah, I hope you can join me again tomorrow. I'll confirm tomorrow on my Twitter account, but I should be streaming tomorrow as well. I don't have anything, so unless something comes up last minute, I'll be here around the same time, probably something between 7 and 8 GMT, depending on when I finish. I'm done with work. So yeah, I hope to see you tomorrow, and yeah, have a good night.